This lesson is on trinomials when a does not equal 1. They're considered hard, and we are using a method of AC grouping or AC box. So remember, we have ax squared plus bx plus c for our trinomial. So this time, this a value is a number. So in our first example, we are given 4x squared plus 7x minus 15. There is no GCF, so I can't get rid of that 4. It's there, it's stuck to x squared. So I need to find the product of a times c. So again, remember, a is 4, c is negative 15. So that gives me negative 60. I have to come up with two factors of negative 60 that add up to 7, which is my b value. Okay, that's why we call it AC grouping, because we're multiplying a times c. So we still want to find what's the product of a times c that gives us b. So negative 5 and 12 multiply to negative 60 and add to 7. Unfortunately, because I have that 4 in front, I can't just jump to factoring. This is our grouping piece, okay? It's 4 terms. So I've split, some people call this split the middle. I've split this 7x into negative 5x plus 12x, okay? Does the order of that matter? Could I have 12x minus 5x? Absolutely. Okay, you're not going to go wrong if you have the reverse order. You should come out with exactly the same answer. So now I have to group the two pairs of terms. So I take the first two terms and I take the last two terms. I want to find the common factor or the GCF of each grouping. So what's in common in the first group? X. What's in common in the second group? 3. When I take it out, look what happens. I get a common factor. So now I'm going to take out that common factor of 4x minus 5, and I'm left with a new factor of x plus 3. Pretty cool. So the box method just puts these 4 terms in a box. That's the only difference. So if you're looking at box method, 2x squared plus x minus 6. So a times c is negative 12, and they have to add up to your b, which is a 1. Okay. So what multiplies to negative 12 and adds to 1? Negative 3 and 4. So now instead of listing them out horizontally, I make my box. So the first term always goes in the first box. The last term always goes in the last box. Then that split the middle, so this piece right here is what turns into those. Okay, so 4x minus 3x is 1x. I split it into 2 terms still. Now you're going to find the GCF of each column and each row. So what's in common here? Well, 2 and x. What's in common here? Negative 3. What's in common here? X. And you can check yourself. X times 2x, 2x squared. X times negative 3, negative 3x. What's in common here? A 2. Well, what kind of 2? 2 times 2x is 4x, so this is positive. Positive 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So my factors are 2x minus 3, which was on top, and x plus 2, which was down the side. So go ahead, pause the video, decide which method you want to use. I am going to do the first example using grouping, the second example using box method. Please do not forget, you must always take out the greatest common factor first before you can use any other method. Okay? All right. So our first example, A times C, because there's nothing in common, is 36. B is 12. So what are the factors of 36 that give us 12? Hopefully you're saying 6 and 6, right? So 6 times 6 and 6 plus 6. So I am going to split this 12x into 6x plus 6x because both positive. I'm going to keep my 9x squared and my positive 4. All I did was split the middle. Now I need to group them into two pairs. So I'm going to take the first pair, and then I'm going to take the second pair. The first pair, what's in common? 9 and 6. Hopefully you said 3. X squared and x is an x. I have to take it out, so divide it out. I get 3x plus 2. In the second set, what's in common? You should say a 2, and that's a positive 2. This sign always matches. When I take out the 2, I get 3x plus 2. If these do not match, something is very, very wrong. So now I have the common factor of 3x plus 2, and I have the new factor of 3x plus 2. I could also write that as 3x plus 2 squared. Cool. This is the method I prefer, the grouping method, but you may use the box method. So in the next example, I notice right away that they are all divisible by 3 and x. So first I'm going to take out 3x. So I get 12x squared plus 11x plus 2. I notice that my a value is not 1, so I have to do this AC thing. So a times c is 24, b equals 11. So what multiplies to 24 and adds to 11? Hopefully you're saying 8 and 3. So I'm going to ignore this first GCF. I'll write it back when I have an answer. So I'm going to use the box. I forgot almost. So my first term, 12x squared, and my last term, 2, go in the first box and the last box. My split the middle of 8 and 3 go in the other two boxes. It doesn't matter where. And don't forget they need to have x's after them because 8x and 3x is 11x. And now I need to GCF. So GCF all columns and all rows. So column, we have a 3 and an x. We have a 2 and it's positive. We have a row, which is 4 and x. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x. And then, nothing is in common. Well, they all have 1 in common. So a positive 1. So positive 1 times 3x is 3x. Positive 1 times 2 is positive 2. So my factors are 4x plus 1, 3x plus 2, and I need to bring down that GCF. Done. All right, challenge yourself. Try the last one. Pause the video and continue when you're ready. Hopefully those variables did not goof you up. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Good luck.